Okay, hello everyone, Random Gamer Riven here, and welcome to another randomised gaming stream. I'm your host as always, Random Gamer Riven, just to say my name twice. So tonight's stream we will be looking at Tinanagog and Enterbrain's TearRingSaga. And this was actually developed by the original creator of Fire Emblem. This is actually a studio he set up after he left Intelligent Systems. So this is basically, as you can see from the terms you've been looking at, the videos that we've just playing out for the attract demos, basically Fire Emblem in pretty much all but name. There's even a few references, and it was so close to Fire Emblem, Nintendo actually sued them and created a lawsuit, and I think it was sort of half and half. So I think Enterbrain did get fined, I think I'd heard someone say, but they ruled they hadn't breached the copyright, so I don't know why they would have got fined in the so basically allows developers to create spiritual successors to their games. But yes, what you are seeing is literally what I would describe as Fire Emblem on PlayStation, and good Fire Emblem on PlayStation as well, as this is a much later design. Apparently this was originally going to be called Emblem Saga, but I think that name was a bit too close for comfort. I think there was some bitterness with Nintendo over the fact that they hadn't done an N64 one. In fact, the Intelligent Systems had kind of snubbed the N64 with the fact Fire Emblem Thracia 777 came out, 776 came out in 1999 and 2000 on the Super Nintendo over the N64. I always got the impression Intelligent Systems did not like the N64 hardware, so they've basically ditched it. So we've got new game. I think this is just going to be options. Let me check. Tiering competition. Oh, there's a competition mode. Nope, let's go back. I don't want to do the competition mode. So this is my original Japanese copy of the game. I picked it up a little while back, actually. I actually got the sequel on PlayStation 2 first, and because I really liked the sequel, I then went and tracked down the original. So this has even had one of the original artists of Fire Emblem who worked on some of the later games, Thracia 776. We just go. So the creator of Fire Emblem, and apologies, I'm going to mispronounce his name. Oh, that might be load game. This might be new game. The creator of Fire Emblem was Shouzou. So pronounce this correctly. Shouzou Kaga, and basically he departed from Nintendo in 2001, so that would have been after Fire Emblem Thracia 776. I think there was some debate on the N64 version. Supposedly the N64 version was a slightly different game, but elements of it ended up becoming part of the Blinding Blade and Path of Radiant. I did wonder if they'd also initially planned to do a remake, and whether some of it also wound up as part of the DS title as well, because that always rang of an N64 game to me when I played that. The N64 the DS version, it just looked like it was an N64 game, because they used some really bad CG renders. So TearRingSaga follows the plot. I'm just going to get the manual out here. It does actually have some of the character names in English. Follows a couple of characters. The two main protagonists is this one here, Hormez, and the other one's Rainan. So we've got Hormez here. I think these names may not be wellly portrayed. I think it's supposed to be Ryan or Ryan. Sasya. I wonder if it's supposed to be Sasya or maybe Saska. And Katie. Maybe Katie, yes. The Japanese tend to often misspell the names of what they're trying to do in English badly. TearRingSaga. So this is Hormez. He's one of two main characters. And this is Rainan. Now, both these characters are playable, but they end up splitting apart and having their own stories, but they arrive together. Basically, this is about this game basically follows both their stories and journeys, so I think we'll get to play as both throughout the campaign. But basically, you will see that this game follows pretty much the same sort of gameplay as Fire Emblem. And if you're a Fire Emblem fan, I highly recommend it. Just while these two guys chat away, I should actually brush up on my Japanese. A lot of these are quite simple, basic characters, so the text isn't that hard to read once you know. Dragoon has actually read quite a bit. I should also say the art for this was done by the late Mayumi Hirota. I believe that's how you pronounce it. She also did Fire Emblem Thracia 776 art, and it's really lovely art. Sadly, I think I read she passed away in 2018, so... But her art is really wonderful, and they've really capitulated with the spirit of her character design in this one. She did all the character design. Just keep the pace moving a little bit. I'll probably have a play around. I might do another video of this, claiming as well. I might actually do a playthrough at some point where I know exactly what to do and cover the channel. Although before I do too many more long plays, I actually need to get a new reserve backup drive as we are running low on space here for footage. We sail into town. But I have played the sequel as well, Berwick Saga, and that is really good. So if you have... Berwick Saga was on the PlayStation 2. In fact, Berwick Saga I should cover as well at some point. Sadly, Berwick Saga did not sell well. I think they said it was released against quite a few other games at the time. So it didn't sell that well, sadly. Berwick Saga is really good, though. It's a really good continuation. In fact, Berwick Saga and this are probably better than some of the later Fire Emblem games. Some of the recent Intelligent System Fire Emblem games, as I mentioned when I did one of the GBA ones, I think I did. The one with Roy in, I think. Basically, they're just not as good as they used to be, the Fire Emblem games. The new ones have been a bit subpar. Too much emphasis on really bad relationships in games rather than just doing a quick sort of friend system. There's too much time wasted with dialogue, pointless dialogue on characters romancing and not actually really improving the gameplay mechanics and doing interesting things. The other thing, as I said before, the death system in Fire Emblem where you get killed and your character doesn't come back is just pointless. You might as well do something more like your character gets injured and needs to heal up, so then can't participate in the next battle or two. So I see it's these Ryanan and Horn Hermes have got a few buddies as well, so there's going to be a couple of us as we explore the local town. And you can guess, like Fire Emblem, there's loads of characters to recruit. In fact, I'm just actually going to... I know there's a few FAQs to this, so I'm just going to get a translation guide. Map 1. As you see, we've got all our Julie Knight characters, the sort of barbarian character, and here come the typical enemies. Here they come, or allies, normally heroes or characters in distress needing help. Okay, so there's the menus. That's what I need. Attack, wait, item, star, dance, sing, charge, dismount. I won't skip through the... We've got some fantastic music as well. Player one turn. Okay, just before I jump into the action, I'm just going to leave this for a second. I'll be back in a sec, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so just chat away. I'm just actually eating a bit of cake here quickly, so just before I begin. I wouldn't actually be surprised if the story for this is loosely what they had planned to do for the N64 Fire Emblem game. Admittedly, the Saturn would have been a better format to do it on, and there are some great tactical RPGs. If you want a 2D one, though, Fedra Emblem Justice is very good. I'll actually try and... Let's just go and chat to the people here while we're here. As this is a technical game, technically I can play this one-handed. Okay, so part of the course of any sort of Fire Emblem game is to literally check with... So we've got units there. Motley crew. Okay, that's obviously mission details, turn 1. This is items. Equipment, and dare I click on this one? Oh, it's end turn. Fantastic. That's the perfect option. And along come our horrible rogues. That's it. Most of the common villains in this are always made to look sort of ugly and just diabolical people. Do we have a character here? He's clearly bad just by the very look of him, sort of. So just generally tend to make... I mean, often they do have a habit of making the heroes overtly attractive and the villains ugly or generic soldiers, kind of. Do anyone any of these houses that wants to join me? Ooh, there's lots of nice people giving us gear though. Okay, back in 1 sec, guys. Okay, and that's me eating all the yummy cake I brought up. Never mind. Back to the game. Obviously, some civilian giving us advice. You normally get a lot of them in RPGs. I mean, a lot of these games are what I'd call as Western translatable, that just never got Western translated. And if you don't mind having to put up menu navigation, they're usually very easy to work around. I am, as I said before, playing this with the other games this week on the PAL PS1 using Tony, the software mod known as Tony Hack. I'm to guess the other one, with the wood shop one, might be a shop. Oh, some of these fan translations are terrible with the names. No, it's Ryan. The name of the main character is Ryan. Do the name. You're quite a busy town, as you see. There's not normally this number of houses. At least it's making you feel a bit like a town. So basically, at the start, we've got to keep up. I've just actually been a bit cheeky, just looking at a guide while I'm playing to see if there's any additional recruitable characters. But see, the bridge is up, so at the minute we won't be getting down. And they are taking possibly the longest way possible to track their targets, these two. So we can buy, lease. Buy, sell, exit. Well, it actually shows you which weapons they can use and equip. I'm not going to need to buy any just yet, as... There's not much I can do at the minute. The game is obviously waiting for a little trigger event here. There's really not much I can do at the minute, and I've actually got to wait a couple more turns before they lower the drawbridge, so... Player turn 5. Okie dokie. Okay, so I assume Fire Emblem TearRingSaga employs the weapon system. Oh, and we have a rumble feature. And I don't want rumble. Why did developers put in rumble? Don't think I'm playing particularly well game at this point, so I've got to be a bit careful here. The horse guys are really weak in this one, I'm noticing. Okay, I can remember, that's good. He can throw a spear. Okay, so this is, it's got an axe and a fright. 1 to 2, okay, so... Okay, now he's probably going to do a fair bit of damage. Just a second. 3 attacks. Wow, that guy's powerful. He's also the dwarf character. Hit 90, attack 14. Okay, so this should do quite a bit of damage. This is tempting fate, but I've got to get my guy up somehow. Your lord is usually... Oh, we've already won combat, so... Now, one of the tactics you have to use in Fire Emblem is you need to... Or TearRingSaga... Well, basically the Fire Emblem series, You have to basically use hit and run tactics, and you also need to concentrate on building only set characters in your team, otherwise you will lose, key characters will lose XP. Fire Emblem is very stacked against you, although you'll get a number of characters in the team, except only in the later games can you really build up every character. In the earlier games, as much as being an RPG fan I want to get all the characters, you're best to actually leave it to a set number and only take out certain ones as and when you need them. Obviously Ryan and Sasha, yeah, whether this might be, I've seen someone say Sasha, which would make sense, but yeah, it's Ryan. Someone put it as Ray Runman. No, it's Ryan. So we've cleared the first battle, and now it's on to the Great Expanse. I assume they were... Sasha looks like she's a princess from some area, so obviously we're going to have to rescue her. And now that we've rescued her, she's going to join us and fight by our side till we've avenged or got rid of the evildoers plaguing her town or country. I think this is the part which gives an omnibus backstory about what's going on, what's been happening to our town and or city or country. The Fire Emblems all have very predictable stories, and as TearRingSaga was developed by the main guy in charge, it's a very, I mean, you literally could be playing a Fire Emblem game right now. If it wasn't for the fact someone said, oh yeah, it's on the PlayStation, you're literally going, oh, it's a Fire Emblem game, because it's got all the signature artwork, it's got the signature gameplay. What you get is a very good game. Visually, it's very impressive for a PS1 sort of 2D title, although I'd say the Saturn would have done much better sprites. And this is running at 60 Hz on the PS1, which is nice. Although I was debating yesterday with someone on the Tony Hawk's board. Yes, it's not true 60 Hz, but most people don't worry too much. If you are using a PAL console, it's never quite 100%. We've explained that before, but someone needed to feel to add that in an argument. Well, not really debate. And I thought, well, you don't really need that, because you just want to be able to, you want as close to the original experience as possible, and being able for a mod to force devices into either 50 or 60 hertz is really essential for some games to actually run. Even if it's not quite true 60 or true 50 hertz, it will allow more games to become compatible as they think they're running at the right speed. And as of yet, there's not been a very good or perfect way to force all games into 50 or 60 hertz on PS1 or PS2. PS2 has a lot better options. PS1 is very limited, but the PS1 can do it. You could write a bit of homebrew software that in theory can align screen now, thanks to the most recent soft mod developments. And we know that it's been able to be done from, there's a homebrew software program known as Import Lite. Okay, so Q, a rather angry general that his best men has been defeated. I assume either she's being held hostage or she's one of the main villains. The other thing is, a lot of the villains in this remind me a lot of the villains from Gundam. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were slightly influenced by. I mean, that one's definitely got. I mean, I know they have all sort of old English looks, or French, historical English French. A lot of the Fire Emblem series does draw from that sort of period in history, especially with some of the storylines. Hence why some of the games haven't been translated. Some of them have quite realistic storylines, akin almost to Game of Thrones, which is pretty much taking out the fantasy element. The whole sort of internal strife between houses was very much real. Okay, so we're obviously getting a lot of different characters here at this point. Good, bad, various fractions. Those who will join us, those who won't. Okay, these guys look like they're going to be goodies. Now, one of the things I will say about the Fire Emblem series is it infamously ended up chasing its tail with Shining Force 3. Shining Force 3... Yowzers, there's a lot of dialogue at this classical sort of RPG start. But Shining Force 3 was basically, because it was a 3-part game and the combat was a lot more interesting and the map design is much better than Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem basically struggled, and it still struggles today. Even the most recent outing, like Three Houses, they just feel pale compared to Shining Force 3, and I think that's something Intelligent Systems has been... You get quite a few more Fire Emblem fans now because, of course, the series has had its Western releases, but the truth is the games are just pale. The series has kind of petered out a bit, and it just lacks the gravitas Shining Force 3 had in terms of map design and story. Certainly Fire Emblem's high point is Chronicles of the historical war, basically, or I think they call it the genealogy war. Basically, it's the family. That's the 4th game on Super Nintendo. That's a phenomenal game. That's the 4th game in the series and the 2nd one on SNES. That's a phenomenal game. That only ever got released in Japan and remains untranslated. I think Nintendo these days are a bit sheepish about some of the story elements on that one, but they shouldn't be, because Nintendo used to do slightly more adult titles, and doing a sort of proper conflict makes sense, and all the various things that intertwine with those conflicts. Okay, so this is actually data. That's save, load, and back. Save game. Just in case my characters meet a cropper. TearRingSaga. Oh, so there they split it as 2. On the box, they actually have it as 1 word. So this is move, this is data. So stats, not data, statistics. So as with any Fire Emblem game, I'm going to need to get my guys leveled up. I do hope there's areas I can spar in this. One of the problems with a lot of the earlier Fire Emblem games that they did, although TearRingSaga is not technically Fire Emblem, but it just plays and looks exactly the same. One of the many issues you had with is that you couldn't, in the Fire Emblem games, that you couldn't level up outside of battle, which was a big problem, because you would only ever get set story battles in the early Fire Emblem games. They addressed that in the later Fire Emblems, where they then get additional battles as you go around the world map, so you can level up before doing the main story battles and moving around the map, which was a much needed addition to the franchise. Some of the original NES one is very unforgiving, and even the GameCube one, basically you have to do the characters, level up characters in battle, and you basically have to level up a set number of characters. You can't level them all up, else your party will be a bit underpowered. I actually did that in Path of Radiant, tried to level them all up, and ended up where everyone was sort of usable, but most of them felt a bit underpowered. But literally, I ended up with just having to rely almost pretty much on Ike, which made it a bit one-sided, and Ike ended up being so powerful in that game. He would literally whack anything with one hit, apart from the infamous Black Knight fight, which was more luck than skill. And I think on that occasion I actually need to slightly better the leveled up Mist of your sister. So shops, so this is shops. Okay, so that's weapon shop. Okay, so options, I'll leave them. It's walking speed. BMG. It's mono stereo. Okay, so battle animation. I've got alternative animation cursor settings. Terrain window information display. Okay. I'm just going through the options at the minute. I just want background music. Interesting, I think that one is English and Japanese, so this one, English stats are displayed in English. Because that's actually English pre-battle. Just actually want to turn off Rumble. Yeah, that's the sim. I think let's have that one off. That's Rumble. And I don't really want Rumble in a Fire Emblem game. Okay, so that's everything I need to do, so, right. Organize, so items, just like team, okay. So yeah, this guy's Goro, yeah, that's Rose, that's gonna be Goro. Do the other, that's Sasha, this is Ryan. And notice that a load of the FAQ writers are actually mistranslating a load of the names. I'm just quickly checking. So organized data, so that's move, that's statistics, that is shop, so this one should be item shop, the other one is organize your equipment, then you have basically save and options. Yep, so okay, so the game is forcing me again to go here, so obviously we're going to get a nice little cutscene as well. Quite a lot of build-up in this one, more so than some of the early Fire Emblem games. Oh, she obviously knows him. I'm just going through checking recruitment for the... There are quite a few characters, so I'm going to actually, apparently in this next battle, get the option to recruit one of 4 characters. Okay, well, this section is a bit slow. We have lots of chatting, building up the background. I'm not going to skip the chatting. I'll basically move through it as soon as the thing appears, but just been browsing slightly. 1 hour 13 in, and we've only done one battle. I'm reviewing the menus as well, just to make sure I know everything going on. So. Okay, so this, I believe, is a Duke, who's obviously against the villains, and he's gonna... Okay, so special event, we can actually choose a unit. So we have... Let's get this right. We have Lee on the left here, who's a mage. He can also heal. Right, so next we have Ezekiel. but he's also required to recruit one of the characters. Let's see, how do we recruit this other character and when do we get her? So we've got the four, just deciding which one to pick looking at the information. So supposedly this guy's required to recruit a character. Then the guide I've just read also says that you don't need him to recruit the character. I think. So whoever translate these FAQs I'm just guiding through basically are loads of mistranslated heroes. seeing character. Okay, let's go with this guy. He's a combat guy who I kind of like them. Well, you know what, for this one I'll actually take the wizard for now. Hello, Demetrius Fairland and Red Darts. Thanks for joining the stream, guys. I'm just picking one of these one of the 4 characters here. I think I'll go with the mage, seeing as I don't have a mage in the party at the minute. But hello, Red Dart, and hello, Demetrius Fairlay. Yeah, I've been saying this is, for those who don't know, this is TearRingSaga as the description. Says this is basically the unofficial 6th Fire Emblem game. Yes, I assume we're happy with our character. Yep, we've recruited him. Okay. I'm just being a bit cheeky and reading through a guide to read some of the bits, but none of these guides are actually very good, it seems. They're all a bit broken and disjointed, so... Rush the first guys on stream, but thanks for joining stream. And I appreciate the likes people are hitting on this stream. Yeah, TearRingSaga is definitely a game not many people know about, so it's nice to be able to actually share it. I'm lucky to actually pick this up. I picked this up after I actually played Berwick Saga on PS2, which is the sequel, which is also a fantastic game. As I mentioned earlier, it was developed by the original creator of Fire Emblem and is basically Fire Emblem in all but name. Okay, so here we go with the villains again. I mean, basically, if you're a Fire Emblem fan, then you definitely should, and you have a PS1, then you should definitely pick this up. As I mentioned earlier, this is I'm actually playing this on a PAL PS1 thanks to the Tony Hack mod, so it's a really very helpful mod that allows you to, basically it's a soft mod that you don't need to mod, you can play, it allows you to play NTSC games on an unmodded PS1 and or PAL games on NTSC games on a PAL system or PAL games on an NTSC system. Yes, the only official way to play it, I believe there are now I think there's a fan translation of this game now available. But officially, this was only ever... Yes, you are correct. This is only ever released in Japan, and it's never had a re-release either because I think of the this got involved in some legal trouble. So I see I'm forced to move down this way at the minute. So although I think we can move around the map screen, it appears that I'm pretty much forced to move a particular way at the moment in this part of the story. But yes, there's only ever been the Japanese retail release. So you are going... If you want an official copy, your only option is the Japanese PS1 retail release. Although it's still fairly cheap at the minute, it did actually sell very well. I think I saw this figure suggest it sold around over 300,000 units. Okay, so items. So I'm just going to see, is there anyone I can recruit on this stage? So I'm going to create a save here as well. I may change which character Now, according to this guide, I can actually recruit a bonus character. So I believe this is... We've got Julia, so there's probably Julia. N10. Quite a motley crew here, so let's say if we can view the terrain before we begin. So we've got quite a lot of opportunities to level up. Apparently there's a character if N10 goes into one of the houses. But I think I'm going to get a few more characters. Ah, here we go. These two here. Oh, she's a mage as well, is she? Okay, so we've got... So we recruit 4 characters in this section. Always nice, that's the thing with Fire Emblems. Well, basically, or even games inspired by worked on by the original creator, lots of characters to recruit. Now, my aim is to try and get everyone out alive. I don't know, I assume this game has a death system like Fire Emblem, so I take it if I lose them in battle, they won't be coming back. I might be wrong though, they might return. Well, there's a wizard. I think I perhaps should have taken one of the other character choices. We do get a few Japanese people on the channel, so I won't rush through the text because we do have a lot of Japanese viewers. And I haven't actually had a few Japanese people on stream, so I want to be able to give them the chance to read the text. I should actually do a bit of learning to read Japanese because it's not too hard once you understand how it all works. They're all meant to be drawings, and once you understand what the drawings are, the pictures they're supposed to be, then it's quite easy to, relatively easy to read, you just to remember. I think one or two of the fonts can be a bit tricky with there. But even I recognise a few words like yes, no. But yes, sadly this game is not available on any other format. It's not been reissued, and I don't know if that's due to the legal battle Enterbrain had with Nintendo. It wasn't really a victory for either, I think. I think Enterbrain had to pay a fine, but Nintendo didn't get the game recalled at least, but they may have had an issue. Okay, move on, let's get on with the battling. Let's get on with the battling, ladies and gentlemen. We've only had one fight so far. Huzzah! We are back in action. Now, some knights can dismount, like in Fire Emblem Thracia 6-6. Yeah, it was developed by, how do I pronounce it again? The company name is Tiaringu. Berwick Saga is the follow-up, and but that was only released, that was a PlayStation 2 sequel, Berwick Saga. Now, which house? There's a character called Plum, apparently. In the lower right house. Often you do have that where you need certain characters to be on a map in order to recruit a character. Right, these two I need to get into safety, so... Okay, so obviously I need a character to go into that house, and it's supposed to be one of the new ones, so I bet you it's her. He can't catch up. He can't catch up either, that's good. So how far can they get? So probably I'm not going to be able to get to them, but I can move here. This is an intercept range where they can't attack me, but I can be in position next turn to hit them. Tactics in all these type of Fire Emblem games is always key. Oh, there's a few other games. I know the cover artist was for this game, who was actually the same one that did Fire Emblem Thracia 776, was the late Mayumi Hirota. She sadly passed away and she did the cover art for this. I think she did the cover art for Berwick as well. Well, I wasn't entirely sure if she'd done the Berwick art, but I think they said she worked on Berwick. But she sadly passed away in 2018 because her art for the Fire Emblem Thracia 776, and this is really, really good. Okay, I think everyone is into position, so there's not much I can do other than... I've got to position my guys very carefully. I can't... probably need a couple of characters to do a couple of types of rescue moves, so let's see. I'm going to move my hero down here. Now, if I stay in the forest, it'll give me big advantages in combat, so... I assume the tribes... I need to check the sword shield system still in place in this one. Okay, so yeah, basically you want to take advantage of the terrain. So you'll see in the top right or left corner, you'll see the percent. You want to know what that is. So basically your characters in terrain will have a defensive advantage. So make sure they have that advantage. I'm just going to check the movement of these guys. So... So it was there, yep, so... Guess it's some defensive cover. Eek, I shouldn't have done that. Let's just take this guy out. Okay, let's see how the enemies move. Let's see what our next decision is. We're gonna need to defend. So yes, that defensive value is always very helpful. Oh, I'm going to get hit. Okay, so I think she should be good there, hence the healer girl, but she's probably the most vulnerable unit. Okay, that's good. This guy's strong again. It's going to be weak to my lord if this obeys the same rules as Fire Emblem. In fact, I'm just going to check, does this have the sword axe rule? Yes. At least I hope it does, based on that damage. Okay, so I get Ryan here to chop up this guy from the woods. And already I'm going to need to heal him, so that's a bit irritating. Go get him to attack him. Now, can a healer heal themselves? Move him into the woods and move him there to cover. I don't think they'll be able to get close to. Yeah, neither will be able to get close to the other girl. I'll be able to move her. He could also heal as well. He's got magic. I haven't actually got any mages. So what we've got down here. So I've got. So I've got, let's get, oops, one thing I've got, no, let's just be checking the range. Let's take him out. So yeah, I assume the sword shield, the sword axe trinity rule applies. Okay, she's not bad for a little character. I think, is that everyone? I've just got the knights. Do I want to move them in chat to... I think obviously you need to get some of the characters into chat to the... we don't have the two girls from the previous mission, so I'll just oh, that one's dismount. I thought it was. Can they remount? That's why you always stand in terrain, because it really does reduce the damage and increase the chance of you not getting hit and doing counters. Likewise, attacking enemies in terrain is always a really bad idea. So this is where they have slightly dangerous combat because, wow, okay, that's quite handy. Now I've always got to take the fort, and we're getting reinforcements. Brilliant. It's a heal staff because she's going to be badly injured. Hope the top one's heal staff. Yes, there's some nice animation, I will admit. It does follow in the spirit of the Fire Emblem. Could have given the characters faces, they're not that... Has my Lord healed again? You should always concentrate on keeping your Lord healed up, because if they fall in battle it will always be game over. Let's mount, dismount. Reason you'd mount, dismount, you may have somebody, well, why would you dismount cavalry? And usually it's because if you dismount, there are certain areas in the game you have to dismount. Oh. I think we're good. I actually wonder if I need to get my Lord back into that house in the corner, but as per the case you can probably move around all your characters, so... Right, there's too many characters for these guys to all deal with, and as I'm having to move both the healers back. Basically I want to basically have a forward line in the forest. Okay, so this is a disadvantage. He's got into the woods, and I really need to control a forward line in the forest. Okay, this guy's pretty good, this part. So he's chopping them all up pretty swiftly. Ideally, I need my lord to be chopping them all up for some XP. There's another one down. Right, let's get my lord. Although I should probably run him into the village if... I do wonder if rescue is an option in this one. So, some of the previous Fire Emblems allowed you to basically gave you an option for rescue, which was cavalry units can pick up a non-mounted unit and carry them away to safety. Now, is there infinite enemies or is there only a limited number of reinforcements? Okay. Now, downside to these two sword guys, I won't get the buff from this. Hopefully, definitely having him in cover is really helping. Okay, so strength, skill, magic, HP. Okay, not great, but. Yeah, certainly not been. Just realised we've just hit the 2-hour mark, so it's certainly not. All these type of tactical RPGs are never quick games. So now if I move him there, can I? Burn, baby, burn! This guy's a mage. Let's get some magic spells out. I always found it a bit odd magicians ran out of magic in Fire Emblem. You had to the weapon system always felt a bit. The fact the weapons broke always felt a. Bit subpar, but this is really good. Just the quality of this so feels like a follow-up to the other Fire. I mean, it does just feel like it's playing Fire Emblem. I think what I'll do is I'll get my hero to go up first with the healer behind him to do all the battle damage. Wonder if I'm supposed to get my lord in this house to chat to, obviously, the mayor of this village. So everyone else, pretty much all the teams in position now. So basically what I'm going to do is the long and lonely road of having... So I think it's just a load of them there, so I'm just going to get... Admittedly, this is like the older Fire Emblem games as well. And that one guy keeps moving around. Is he going to eventually come round this side, go up the mountain, down, and come back down again? You're just like, yeah, there's about 5 of us waiting here for you, friend. Okay, I'll get my lord to actually go to the town. And I believe if I get her... She's not exactly the fastest character to get back to town, that I will say. I'll be honest, a lot of these ones could do with constant reinforcements in certain areas, because if you only have 1 or 2, they're easy to control and great way to earn XP. So supposedly she can recruit a character called Plum. I think it's her. Okay, yes, I think we have a recruitment going on. Some really good music as well. I'll just actually raise it a bit while the scene's going on. Okay, is this girl a healer or a mage? If she's a mage, I feel I shouldn't have taken the other mage guy. But if she's not a mage and another healer, then... Okay, he's got something different to say to Plum. Aha. At least that's the translation name I saw. A lot of the FAQ names were badly translated. I promise you often actually have to take it on the Japanese pronunciation rather than the way they spelt the English characters. One of the translators once said that a lot of you should really take from the name should be based off the English name should be based off the Japanese pronunciation, as Katakana can't always spell English names correctly, which is the default of Katakana because they've not adapted the language to cover all the Latin alphabet characters, or as we now know as the modern English symbols. Well, he's certainly giving her a backstory, so obviously this is the character actually wanting to speak to. Okay, judging what I've done, it appears that I've pretty much just got to get the various characters to talk to the mayor in this place. Oh, no, all the places are now closed. Okay. Apparently Bart could get 30,000 gold or 3,000. Receive a gold bag when you can. So yes, there are quite a lot of variables. It seems there's a sort of team power-up system, and different characters can learn different skills in this version. Or not, I mean, certain characters can be buffed by other characters, so... Oh, we can get various characters to have a friendly chit-chat, can't we? Okay, I'll start moving them all next to one another. Get everyone to have a little chit chat to one another. God, that guy's really taking the long way round, that one at the back. Okay. Just see if you've got any more characters that can actually chat with one another. Oh, yes, we've got a chat. But yes, as with other basically other Fire Emblem games. Well, this is technically, as I said again, this is TearRingSaga, not technically a Fire Emblem game. But it basically employs almost all the same mechanics. You do get the sort of relationship building, although this one's much better with being able just to have a chat on the battlefield rather than the whole clubhouse thing, which just feels a bit awkward at times with the who you romance X with Y, which kind of, you're better off from a romance point having it with pre-assigned characters. That way you can tell much more interesting romance stories, because if you can do a generic one with any character, then it's only a couple of lines, which is always a bit, doesn't feel right. This is making me want to put back on Fire Emblem, actually. So I've got a couple of them are still midway playing through. Okay, so I can't... I think I have checked all the characters out who can chat to one another. I think he might be able to chat with Plum, the other mage, but I'll check in a minute. But yes, this is the thing, is that these tactical games are slightly better streaming than actually videoing because they take so long to move around, navigate. Alex, that's not plum. What is that? Blue? Some of these translations I think I've been looking at, they're just not right. What is that guy at the back doing? He's like having a wander off, like, I don't want to be near the rest of them. I thought that would happen. He's saying the character's name is sort of still to him. But yes, as I mentioned earlier, this is only available in disc form on Japanese PS1. There's no digital release. I think partly because this got involved in a bit of a legal dispute, and I'm not sure if they couldn't if Enterbrain have the rights to re-release it. If they do, I highly recommend Enterbrain translates this and re-releases this, as Fire Emblem on the PlayStation is very good. This and the sequel definitely need a modern update. Berwick Saga, I think could easily, because Fire Emblem fans would love it, and to be honest, I think they'd probably have a bigger audience if this was released on other formats. So if you could re-release this on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, because you would re-release this on everything. So okay, so apparently Lee and Plum have some sort of support connection. So I'm going to steadily move my guys forward now. My hero's at level 4. I think this guy's called Bart. I think they had the name. Oh, it could be Bartholomew. They've got her name down as Entel. It's probably more Edna. It makes sense as a name. Okay, one of them, that's Estella, which makes sense. Yeah, both that I symbol is actually an E in Japanese. He's called Lee. The hyphen means to double, basically means to double, usually means to double the previous letter, so basically make it doubling, so if it's an E, turn it to a double E, so, but I think that's RU, that one, or it's basically, they often spell Lee, so it's Re. because they get their R's and their L's and a few other letters confused. This guide's obviously not quite... Okay, now here's the part where I start taking my cue. So I want my lead. So I've taken the mage and not the bowman. Actually, the mage is turning out to probably quite a good one if he supports the other healer girls. So how many of these guys? So he's spear, she's sword. Okay, let's stats. So who's the weakest? She's at level 1, Plum's at... So I think that's... This is Julia, isn't it? Yeah. It's the one name that one of the few names this guide I'm just looking at seems to make sense with. But yeah, the hero appears to be Ryan, and they've misspelt it. They show it as Ryan in Ryan. They show it as Ryan Anna. They double up the AN at the end, Ryan and. But I think it's meant to be Ryan, which makes sense for a hero's name. Okay, let's get him kicking ass. Time to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of gum. Now, healers in this game are always one of the most important units for two reasons. One, you need them, and two, you need to... But I think... That's what we call a really bad level up, because my... So one of the things I don't like to do is leave the character, is move the character in a way that they're not able to be supported. That's always a really bad mistake. So always keep your guys backed up. That's what I thought he'd do, but she's got all the backups, so... And she should have a stronger weapon type to him. Oh, but she's got this uber sword with a high crit chance, so this should be wrecking havoc with this guy. That's what I want to see. Luck. So, I mean, visually this is so... Overall, what I think of this, I think it's a very nice game. Visually, it's good. It's got some lovely 2D animation. I mean, it's probably not the best 2D artwork from the era. This is quite 2001 when they were really at their absolute finest with games like Marvel vs. Capcom. Although it's probably the end of the 2D art era, but obviously the Fire Emblem stuff, because the PS2 wasn't perhaps as strong as some of the other consoles, is not quite as visually good looking. So I'm not going to run her any closer. I'll get my mage to hit this guy because I assume he'll have an advantage. And it's the classic, I'm about to chat to you and do battle. Oh wow, okay, this is going to be a short fight. Okay, let's get my lord in to soak up the XP. Oh, I just missed out on a level. Oh no, I did get a level up. That's a rubbish level up. And that's it, so I'll just finish this battle. And then I'll save it once we get back to the world map. So there's really nothing I can do here now. The map is cleared of the villains. That first battle, I think, was actually a bit closer than this one. That first one, a lot of the enemies felt a lot tougher. Enemy turn 23, and then player turn. Jump straight. So we'll capture this and end the fight. And obviously this is our advisor or companion who's... You usually get that in Fire Emblem and Shining Force games. You get like a travelling companion who gives you advice, mentorship, but who usually doesn't fight in battles. And yes, we've enjoyed our stoic victory. Actually, I think it's taken about an hour to do that fight, which is one of the things I don't tend to video that many of these games because as much as I really do love tactical RPGs and really enjoy it, there's been a very good session. You're taking about an hour just to do one little bit, but yeah, very good fun. Okay, so this is a special cutscene because I've got Lee and Plum in my party. Apparently you only get it if you have both of them. Apparently she's going to get a staff that gives her 10% defense, which is quite handy. They are support characters, so I think Shining Force 3 had a better support system where everyone could be friends with everyone as long as they fought together long enough, which was a much better system than any of the Fire Emblem developers and intelligent systems, as I said before, have been chasing the Shining Force 3 whale for some time, and they've never managed to beat it. They've tried, and they tried with Three Houses, and they tried... with the other one with Branching Paths. They've tried the whole three things a couple of times now, and they know their games aren't as good because their stories aren't as interesting. The characters aren't as interesting as what you had in Shining Force, and the actual battles aren't as interesting. They probably need to chuck away the fact that Sith weapons break. You probably want the ability to sort of like in Shining Force 3 you had with one of the characters could capture monsters. So you want that, or hire mercenaries and things. And they probably want to do a lot more interesting things. So basically you could have a character that could hire out additional mercenaries to fight on his behalf. So that way this one character is like a load of bodyguards. Would be quite funny. And things like that. And you had all the dragons, the penguins, the sort of comedy characters in Shining Force. Okay, so that was an item was given to Plum, basically. Because I don't think Plum's... Okay, so this is Kate, or K-I, Saswa, as she's pronounced in the Japanese manual in English, and Kaiti, but I think it's supposed to be Kate and Sasha. That obviously Sasha was previously injured based on the previous sequence. I assume they'll be rejoining us now. Now, I do wonder if this game only has fixed battles or whether there are random battles like in the later Fire Emblem games that you could use to level up your characters. Because I enjoy leveling up my characters. I enjoy leveling up all the characters, which is something I routinely do. But I find only the really much later Fire Emblems allowed you to do that. The earlier Fire Emblems, you are forced to really play as the same characters. Obviously that's an attack party. Okay, I had a very good run on that battle, so I'll actually save it over. I'll leave map 2, so that was on the world map. You know, I'll stick with Lee for now. I'll stick with the mage guys. I don't have any other mages, so I think this is one of those games you probably want to do multiple playthroughs of to get all the characters. Right, with that save, and it's coming up to 2.5 hours now, so I'm actually going to wrap up. Thank you all for everyone who's been on stream. It's been a pleasure to chat with you. I know we've had a couple of guys jump in, only briefly, but I hope you all enjoyed this look at TearRingSaga. Basically, the Fire Emblem game that is not a Fire Emblem, that's Fire Emblem in all but name. It is a really good title. It would be nice if it would get a re-release. I know the developers aren't around anymore, sadly. It was, as I said, it was the company was owned by the creator of Fire Emblem, but I think they said they're not sure when they shut down. But I think it's about 2000 and something. But it is a wonderful game, TearRingSaga, and I highly recommend playing if you enjoy, like me, enjoy Fire Emblem and fantasy games. There is actually, so I said, there is 2 main characters, so we haven't seen much of. I assume this might be like chapter based, so it swaps between the 2 characters. But it's basically, if you're a Fire Emblem fan, it's well worth playing, as long as you don't mind the fact that it's going to be in Japanese. But I'm a tactical RPG fan, so the story, you can kind of get the gist from what's going on with the cutscenes and the characters popping out. You're going to miss the finer details, and there may be 1 or 2 slightly navigation modes. But for me, it's all about the strategy in the battle. That's why I play tactical RPGs. I don't faff around too much with various characters. I just want to get out there and do battle, which is what I enjoy about this. So yes, a very good title. If you enjoy this, I highly recommend this. I highly recommend, actually, although the Fire Emblem games aren't a patch on Shining Force 3, they're still a very good series. They do have their flaws, but they're still enjoyable. And I would highly recommend them all. And the sequel to this, Berwick Saga on PS2, which is very good as well. Very, very good. So I will wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching, because I think another battle would put me well into gone past 1 AM if I was going to play in another battle. So I will wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching, everyone. I have been your host for this randomised gaming video, Random Gamer Riven. I will wish you a good night, a good evening, good morning, or a good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Also, thank you to my commentators, Redart and Demetres Fairley. I think I pronounced that. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you for coming and watching. I hope you enjoyed this look at TearRingSaga on the... Well, TearRingSaga, I think it's Utona's... Utona here... Utona's, which is one of the... I think the continent or the region they're from. Heroes Chronicle. Chronicle's sort of a good word for something... sort of chronological. Basically, it's like a war diary, sort of like a record. But you want something that's a word. Chronicle sounds like a good word for it in English. I don't think we quite have don't we quite have a Japanese English equivalent, but Chronicles is probably the closest. But that's it for me. I should say this was released in 2001. It was developed by, again, I'll pronounce it, Turnanog. It was an odd studio name, Turnanog, and it was published by Enterbrain. Sadly, it's not available on any modern format at present, possibly because of the legal action Nintendo had with it. Although the game wasn't recalled and was allowed to be put on... I know Nintendo... I don't think Nintendo won the legal action, but I don't think either of them quite won it, so I don't know if there was a ban on any more copies of the game being printed or anything, but it's never been reissued, which would lead me to suggest that there was some pause on it. Because I know Unirally, they basically didn't stop the game from being sold, but they stopped any more from being printed. So thank you, Pixar, for that one. You don't own the rights to a Unirally in 3D, as you claimed in that court case, and that's one where they should have had the judgment ruled against them. That's a whole different story. Legal system. To basically Pixar. There's an infamous case with Unirally and Pixar, and they basically killed the Unirally franchise as a result. So that's why I'm always a bit contemptuous with Pixar, because that was just a really dumb decision by them. But that's it from me, so I hope you enjoyed this look. I'm going to say all, but that's it, as I said. But what I will say, if you do want a copy, you're going to have to get a Japanese PS1 copy. There is no other way to play this at present. And there's not an official translation. I believe there may be a fan translation, but besides from the original PS1 copy that I've been playing tonight, as I said, it's still pretty cheap to buy if you're a Fire Emblem fan, but do beware. The Fire Emblem games have all been creeping up quite steadily in price, and I think as more people realise, hey, this is basically a Fire Emblem game in all but name, the price of this one may creep up as well, as with its sequel, TearRingSaga, on the PlayStation 2. So this is TearRingSaga, which was on the PS1, TearRingSaga, which I think is like TearRingSaga, TearRingSaga, is on the PS2. I highly recommend both games, but that's it from me, everyone. Have a good Easter. I will be off over the next few days, but I have got a few more videos planned, and there is one I need to get two I need to get processed and sorted. So hopefully in the near future they will be out, probably over the weekend actually. But thank you all. Have a good Easter. See you all next week. Oh, actually, yeah, we will do videos next week. I probably won't stream next week. I'll probably take a break off streaming next week, seeing as Monday is a bank holiday. But have a good Easter, everyone.